So thus far, we've covered all the things that we need. But let's answer the question of what would happen if we did not get these nutritional needs. And that's broadly termed malnutrition. And that's what we'll entitle our next flowchart. Malnutrition is going to be when we do not adequately get the amount of nutritional needs that we need to, whether they're vitamins, minerals, whether they're the organic building blocks or the essential nutrients necessary for our success. If we lack anything there, we are going to suffer from malnutrition. So overall, we can define malnutrition as the following. Malnutrition is when the diet lacks the nutrition of the organism, lacks one or more, just one or more essential nutrients, whatever they may be, vitamin, mineral. And so, if that happens, there are some consequences. The consequences are very broad, but we can basically label them out as about 4 different things that could happen. Overall, what's going to first happen is that you're going to achieve, very likely, less energy than required. Remember, a purpose of nutrition, one of the nutritional needs was chemical energy. If you're not satisfying something that's going to give you chemical energy, you will have less energy than required. This is often referred to as not only malnutrition, but also specifically as undernutrition. So the distinction here is that undernutrition, as a type of malnutrition, focuses on the lack of energy necessary than the amount that's required. So that would be labeled as undernutrition as a result of lacking one or more essential nutrients. Other things that could happen include diseases, and there are many diseases. We'll just broadly state diseases. Even death could happen overall if it's consistent and prolonged for a decent amount of time, and also deformities may be a result of this as well, both developmental and post-developmental deformities, post-birth and pre-birth. Overall, I think a good way to understand this type of malnutrition is to look at a classic example of this that really exemplifies a lot of what's been stated thus far. A good example of malnutrition is a disease state known as kwashiorkor. This is a term that comes from the Ghana Ga language, and this is going to be when somebody suffers from a severe protein deficiency. And specifically, the somebody in this deficient situation are children. So a severe protein deficiency in children. That's going to result in something known as kwashiorkor. This is going to be a result of a lack of one or more essential nutrients. When we're talking about protein deficiency, what essential thing do you think is missing? Of course, that would be the building blocks of protein, the amino acids. So we state that the diet of these children that have protein deficiency lacks essential amino acids. And remember, essential amino acids are those that cannot be made, those that must be consumed. And if they are not, one of the consequences may be kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor is usually seen when a child exhibits stunted growth. And again, that makes sense. You don't have enough protein to grow properly. Also, muscle atrophy, meaning that the muscle is not getting enough protein to maintain its success, and atrophy means literal breakdown of the muscle. The muscle starts eating away at itself because there's no protein coming in, not enough protein coming in, so it actually eats the protein that it is made out of. So it's basically a muscle eating away at itself. Very, very bad. And a very characteristic thing that's seen with kwashiorkor is the edema of the abdomen. Edema just means swelling of abdomen. So like the stomach region of these children will be very, very much swollen. And this is going to be overall due to fluid imbalances. This is basically a side effect, not a direct effect, but a side effect of lacking essential amino acids. You're going to throw off your fluid balance, and this directly causes swelling. And so this is a characteristic clinical sign of somebody who's suffering from kwashiorkor. These children that look very malnutritious, malnutritioned, and what's going to happen with them is that you see these characteristic very big bellies, and this is because of a kwashiorkor disease state. Overall, this covers our look at malnutrition. Again, if you lack one or more of all those essential things that we've talked about, you're going to suffer from the term malnutrition, and it's going to result in a variety of things. Kwashiorkor is just one example of that. In the next flowchart, we'll begin looking at how we regulate all of nutrition within the body.